The Galactic Council chamber floated above the radiant clouds of Orvath Prime, a planet of marble spires and liquid light oceans. Representatives from 500 civilizations gathered in the Hall of Verdicts, their forms shimmering under the luminous dome. Today's agenda was meant to showcase unity and justice among the stars. Instead, it would ignite the greatest war the galaxy had ever known. In the center of the hall stood the accused, Ambassador Elias, humanity's appointed voice among the stars. He wore no armor, carried no weapon, only the emblem of Earth on his chest, a silver circle divided by the blue curve of a world. Before him, the Council's judgment platform glowed, awaiting the decision that would decide his fate. The Council speaker, a towering being of crystal and gas, announced the charge. The human ambassador stands accused of violating interspecies law, of deploying forbidden technology on the colony world of Dareth. His actions led to the destruction of 3 fleets and the deaths of millions. The Council will now deliver its verdict. Elias stood calm. The fleets attacked a human relief convoy, he said, voice firm but controlled. We defended ourselves. You call it destruction. We call it survival. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The crystal being's light flared. Humanity's aggression endangers peace. The Council finds you guilty. Guards of 6 species surrounded him, weapons humming. Elias did not resist as the energy field rose around him, a sphere of pure judgment. He looked toward the observation platform where other ambassadors watched. Tell them Earth remembers, he said. Then the field ignited. A pulse of light vaporized him in silence. The chamber went still. No one cheered. No one moved. Yet somewhere in that moment something ancient shifted in the quiet corridors of consequence. The human envoy ship in orbit received the transmission seconds later. The captain stood frozen, eyes locked on the image of their vaporized ambassador. Transmit the footage to Earth Command, he said, voice cold as void. Priority Omega. 3 hours later, deep beneath the mountains of old North America, the message arrived in the war vaults of Earth Command. The dark hallways pulsed with red light as generals, diplomats, and synthetic advisors gathered before the central holodisplay. The Council's execution played again and again, silent except for the static hum of data feeds. At the center of the chamber stood Director Hale, commander of Earth's unified defense. His jaw was tight, his eyes unreadable. When the footage ended, he turned to the Council of Admirals. How long since the ambassador's last transmission? 72 minutes before death, replied the data officer. He confirmed diplomatic immunity. The Council ignored it. Silence followed. Then Hale spoke the words no one had uttered in centuries. Initiate Annihilation protocol. The room froze. One of the admirals stepped forward. Sir, that's a pre-war contingency. You're authorizing extinction-level retaliation. I'm authorizing justice, Hale said. They executed our representative while under protection of galactic law. They just declared war on humanity. We'll answer in kind. All across the planet, encrypted codes flashed through old networks buried since the Great Sol Wars. Massive data locks opened. Deep under the Pacific, colossal vaults reawakened. Machines built not for deterrence but for absolute erasure. The Annihilation Protocol was not about conquest. It was about making sure no enemy ever forgot why humans were feared. The Galactic Council dismissed the execution as a necessary act. They expected outrage, perhaps trade sanctions, maybe even a few destroyed ships. But they underestimated humanity's memory. They underestimated what never again meant to a species that had crawled through extinction itself. 2 days later, Council patrols at the edge of human space detected anomalies. Entire sectors went dark. Navigation buoys vanished. Fleets sent to investigate never reported back. By the time the Council realized communication had ceased, humanity had already crossed the line between response and vengeance. The first strike came at Orvath Prime, the seat of the Council itself. From beyond the rim of known hyperspace, 10 human dreadnoughts materialized without warning. They were silent giants, black as the void, their hulls rippling with adaptive fields that defied sensors. Each ship bore no markings, only the faint symbol of a silver Earth on their sides. Council defense fleets scrambled, thousands of ships converging in orbit. They opened fire with plasma, ion, and gravity weapons. Every shot passed through empty space as if the dreadnoughts were ghosts. Then humanity spoke, not with words but with action. The flagship Resolute Dawn deployed a single kinetic rod from orbit. No energy, no radiation, just a tungsten spear dropped from near light speed. When it struck Orvath Prime, the entire equatorial continent turned to glass. The planet's ocean boiled into the sky. One strike. One world erased. The Council panicked. Messages of surrender and disbelief filled the networks. But Earth did not respond. Humanity's fleets were not fighting for politics or territory. They were fulfilling the protocol. To erase all who took part in the murder of their envoy, the Council assembled an emergency war council on the planet Zeronis, far from human reach, or so they thought. The hall buzzed with chaos. "They've lost their reason," shouted one delegate. "We must unite. We must retaliate," another replied, trembling. "Retaliate? You saw Orvath's destruction. They didn't use energy weapons. They didn't use fleets. They used physics." In the center of the hall, a projection flared to life, Admiral Wren of the human fleet. His image appeared without permission, overriding every security lock. "This is not war," he said. "This is accountability. You murdered our ambassador. You broke your own laws. You thought humanity was bound by your rules. Now you will learn ours." The hall erupted in alarm, but Wren continued, voice steady. "For every world that voted for his execution, one will fall. For every fleet that enforced your verdict, one will burn. End transmission." The signal cut, but not before coordinates streamed through the Council's own systems. Humanity was telling them where the next strike would be. Hours later, the skies above Zeronis tore apart. Orbital defenses activated too late. Human dropships entered atmosphere, releasing drones that moved like metal storms. No soldiers disembarked, no battles raged. Cities simply ceased. Every building turned to dust, every network dead. When the human ships left, nothing alive remained. The rest of the galaxy watched in silence. No civilization dared intervene. Even ancient powers who once ruled half the stars hid their fleets behind neutral zones. Because every analysis, every simulation showed one truth. If humanity was provoked, there was no victory, only survival by avoidance. Weeks passed. Whole regions of the galaxy went dark, stripped of signals, stripped of sound. Then the human fleet stopped. Not a single transmission followed. The Council, broken and leaderless, gathered one last time in what remained of their charter world, a hollow station orbiting a dead sun. The surviving delegates debated endlessly. Some wanted to sue for peace. Others demanded revenge. But they all shared one fear. Where were the humans now? The answer came when the human flagship appeared outside the station, silent and massive. Its presence eclipsed the stars. No weapons were raised. No transmissions came. Then a voice echoed through every frequency. "This is Earth Command," the voice said. "You will surrender the Council Charter, dissolve the current governance, and withdraw all fleets from human borders. You have 72 hours. Fail, and we end the Council." The speaker of the shattered assembly tried to answer. "Human command, please. What you are doing will destroy the balance of—" The voice cut him off. "You destroyed balance when you executed peace under the guise of law. You ended diplomacy when you killed a man who came unarmed. Now you answer to us." For the first time in history, the Galactic Council agreed on something without dissent. They signed unconditional surrender. Months later, the galaxy still trembled from the aftershocks. Trade routes shifted. Star nations withdrew into isolation. Human ships patrolled neutral zones but claimed no new worlds. They did not occupy, they did not enslave. They enforced silence. In the ruins of the Council chamber, a monument stood where Elias had died. It was built not by humans, but by alien workers who had once voted for his death. The monument bore only one line, etched in every galactic language: "Earth remembers." Yet the story did not end there. Across the stars, whispers spread of what the Annihilation Protocol truly was. Some said Earth had prepared it for centuries, a system of dormant fleets and automated decision cores. Others believed it was older, a legacy of forgotten wars when humanity nearly destroyed itself. The truth, none could confirm. On the outskirts of the Milky Way, in a remote system hidden by gravity distortions, a massive human facility came to life. Deep within, Director Hale stood before a silent array of dormant ships, thousands of them, each one larger than any alien dreadnought. He watched as technicians sealed the final vault. One officer approached. "Sir, the Council has surrendered. The galaxy fears us. Why not disarm the protocol?" Hale turned slowly. "Because fear fades. Memory fades. But deterrence must not." He placed his hand on the command console. The galaxy will know peace as long as they remember what happens when they forget respect. The vault sealed shut. Above it, the words glowed faintly. Humanity is patient but never harmless. Years later, on a distant world once loyal to the old council,